أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Mr. Kalawale AO. I remain your VLE biology teacher. I hope you are enjoying our stay at home. And then please do practice the precautions we told to always practice, which is washing our hands with water and then sanitizing our hands. We pray the pandemic disease do not visit our homes. Amen. In our last class, we studied respiration, where we explained different types of respiration. So we have the internal respiration as well as the physical respiration. And I think that is well understood, where we also explain the importance of respiration in our body. Today again we still move to the same topic, which is respiration, the respiratory system. And then the objective for today's lesson is by the end of the lesson, the students should be able to define respiratory system. The students should be able to list different types of organisms and their respiratory system, and explain briefly mechanism of respiratory system in unicellular organisms, insects, fishes, toads, man. Then they should be able to explain the process of inhalation and exhalation. We cannot talk about animal and then leave behind the plant. And then the student should also be able to explain respiration, which is gaseous exchange in plants through the stomata and the lenticel. Let's begin the class proper. Definition of respiratory system. Interesting. We have two words there: respiratory, respiration, let's say respiration, and a system. We already know that respiration deals with exchange of gases, and then system is the agglomeration or the conglomeration or the combination of different organs that come together to perform a specific function. It can be different or similar organs. Now, these organs coming together to perform the function of taking in oxygen and breathing out carbon dioxide, which is the exchange of gas. And then when we take in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide, what else again comes with this carbon dioxide is always water, and this water is always in form of vapor. And that's why we have it there. Respiratory system includes all organs associated with the process of taking in oxygen into the body and giving out carbon dioxide and water in form of vapor into the environment. I think that is well understood. Let's move to our next objective, which is the different organisms and their respiratory system. As you can see, we have different organisms, from unicellular organism to multicellular organism, based on complexity, and that's why the respiratory system changes as the organism develop from one level to another, that is from unicellular level to multicellular level. Now let's take for instance Amoeba, Paramecium, Iglena, and other animals which are unicellular organisms. They do not have organs for respiration, but because they have organelles, and their main organelles where they take in oxygen into the cell is the mitochondria. Perhaps they also have a structure which they use in the exchange of material. And what is this structure? The structure is the cell membrane, or what we can also call the body surface. Why is it easy for them to use the cell membrane or body surface? Because the cell membrane or body surface is having a large surface area to volume ratio. The same thing to another organism, which is a multicellular organism, the earthworm. They use their body surface, which is also known as the wet skin. We already know that of fishes, and then tadpoles that uses the gills. The arthropod, the example of the arthropod is the insect, where they use the trachea, and then we have the arachnids, where they use the lung bugs. We have the reptiles, amphibians, eggs. They use lungs. Yes, yeah. Whenever we hear lungs, what will come to us as a student is always the pulmonary respiration. For amphibians, they make use of different types of respiration. We have the continuous respiration, which is the skin, the lungs, and the vocal cavity. We cannot leave behind the plants. The plants also make use of. They don't have any special organ for respiration, but they make use of what? and that is stomata, and probably the lenticels for older plants. Okay, our next objective is the mechanism of respiratory system in animals. Foremost, what do we mean by the statement mechanism? Mechanism simply means it's trying to explain how these different organs or the part of the organs come together and work effectively to perform their function. How do they work effectively to perform this function? Let's start with unicellular organism. Let's move from smaller organism to higher organism, which is the unicellular organism. Example of unicellular organism here, let's talk about amoeba as usual. You'll see organisms like amoeba and paramecium has no respiratory system in them. Oxygen that dissolves in water diffuses into the body, while carbon dioxide goes out of the body through the body surface. Like I've explained earlier on, I said water comes in and out through their body surface, which is also known as the membrane, the cell membrane. Now, why is this possible? Why is it that water can move in, which we know as osmosis? You already know that the cell content of amoeba is hypertonic, and if they are in a hypotonic environment, it means water will move across the cell membrane to the vacuole, and then this will make water to continue moving in, and they need to osmoregulate. They need to maintain the regulation of water coming in and coming out. Now, how is it possible for this water to pass through the cell membrane or the body surface? It is because the cell membrane or body surface is having large surface area to volume ratio. You can see the picture at the side, how oxygen comes in and how carbon dioxide leaves the cell. It's always interesting, living organism needs to respire. They need to exchange gases in order to help them to continue their existence. Just look at it. The oxygen taken in must go to the body. The body needs oxygen. And then we've spoken about the Krebs cycle, where glucose is broken down, the food we take in, and the importance of respiration. This is why this exchange of gases is needed. Let's look at another organism which is very common and popular. Is a multicellular organism, and that is the insect. Wow. The insect, like I do tell us, that the insect is cosmopolitan. When I say cosmopolitan, it means they are found everywhere. They are found in all habitats. They can be found in water and on land. They are cosmopolitan, even in dry land. Why? Because they have a special structure in the body, which is the chitin. Now, what is this organ used for exchange of gases? This organ is called the tracheal system. The tracheal system. This tracheal system, we need to explain its mechanism. How does the part of the tracheal system helps in the exchange of gases? The insects have tiny opening. On the body of the insect, you can see from the picture, there is a tiny opening which is called a spiracle. And then this tiny opening now branches into a big opening which is called the tracheal. This tracheal now later lead into smaller tubes which are called the tracheals. It is within these tracheals that we have the cells where there is exchange of gases through the body fluid. Now, note, gaseous exchange occurs as a result of compression and relaxation of the spiracle. When we say compression, when they compress, what happens? When they relax, what happens? I know you will be thinking, when they compress, they tend to release carbon dioxide, and when they relax, it's just like relaxation. When we say relaxation, they release carbon dioxide, right? That's the mechanism you'll be thinking, but it is a vice versa. When they relax, they take in oxygen, and when they compress, they release carbon dioxide. That is that for the insects. They make use of the tracheal system. Please don't forget that. Let's move to another organism, which are the fishes. Wow. This is what we eat every day, and I'm very sure most of you have taken a fish today, or if not, you are preparing to take one. If you're not preparing to take one today, it means tomorrow you're going to take a fish. Wow! Though some of us do not visit the kitchen anyways, when our mothers are preparing the fishes, we do not know the gills. They will tell us these are the dead, go and dispose them. But that thing you are seeing, the first picture you are seeing, is the gill of the fish. And the gill, like we said, is the organ used for the exchange of gases. The gills is composed of different compartments or parts. We have the gill filament where gaseous exchange takes place. We also have the gill raca. From the word raca, you see it. That is the part where it looks like it's having a tooth-like part. The tooth-like part that looks like the rake. That's what we call it, the gill raca. What's the function of the gill raca? It helps to stop food particles from entering into the gill chamber. We also have the gill arc. The gill arc helps to connect the gill raca and the gill filament together. And then all these parts of the gills are found within the gill chamber, and they are enclosed by a special structure called the operculum. We can see it in the head of the fish, shown by the left side of the slide. Now, we already know the gill is used for exchange of gases in fishes. What is the mechanism? How does the mechanism operate? Well, this is where we need to pay much attention and concentration in order to get this concept or the mechanism properly. Now, let's start with when the fish wants to breathe. What will happen? It first closes its operculum. It closes the operculum at the spot. I told you the operculum closes the gills. Now it closes the operculum and then open its what? Mouth. It means this place will close and this place will what? Open. When it's open the mouth, what happens? It lowers the floor of the mouth. As it lowers the floor of the mouth, what pressure is the fish creating? The fish is creating a low pressure. As we've studied in our transport system in the heart, we have the low pressure and then we have the high pressure. We said the arteries, they have high pressure, while the veins, they have low pressure. The same low pressure is created within the mouth. And then what happens? It means when low pressure is created, low pressure means there is a big space. Therefore, water will be allowed. They will rush into the mouth. What type of water will rush into the mouth? It is called the dissolved oxygen water. Water that contains dissolved oxygen. They rush into the mouth. What now happens next? The fish now what? Closes the mouth and raises the floor of the mouth. When it raises the floor of the mouth, you see that the chamber in which water will now pass will be very, very small. It will be tiny, and that is why what pressure will be created? It is a what? High pressure. This high pressure now forces water to move to the gill chamber. Then across what? The gill raca is going to pass through the gill raca. You already know the function of the gill raca. It is there. Where we say it helps to separate food particles and water from entering into the gill chamber. And then it will pass through the gill raca to the gill arc and finally to the gill filament. What is the function of the gill filament? Where we say gaseous exchange takes place. And then oxygen will now move around the body. Then carbon dioxide will be released out. Then what will happen? When the oxygen and there is exchange of gases within the gill filament, what will happen there? The fish now open its what? Operculum. It was closed initially. It's now open the operculum where what? Water containing dissolved what? Carbon dioxide then passes into the environment of the fish. If you want to understand this better, go to the internet and go and study countercurrents in fishes. Okay, let's look at another organism, which is the toad. Wow, an interesting organism. For toad, we have the young toad based on their development. We have the tadpole and we have the adult pole. So they use different organs for their exchange of gases, which is respiration. The toad uses the gills for exchange of gases. At tadpole stage, like I said, which is we have the external gill and the internal gills which are used. That is for the tadpole. The adult pole, what do they use? We're going to talk about that inshallah. Let's proceed with this. The external gills. Like you've seen from the diagram shown on the right side of the slide, that's a tadpole. And then you see that there is a portion on the tadpole which shows the external gills. If you look at the gill seen previously and the one that looks like feather here, to the on the tadpole, that is the gill. It is the external gill. You will see that it is not enclosed by the operculum, and that's why we call it the external gill. Now, as this organism is attached to the water weed, because at the tadpole level they are attached to the water weed, water that passes through these gills helps to easily diffuse dissolved carbon dioxide into the body and remove dissolved oxygen into the body and remove carbon dioxide into the water easily. That is the mechanism onto which the external gills operate. And that of internal gills, wow. After which, at a level, the tadpole will develop where the operculum will cover the gill. Now what will happen? The tadpole now breathes like that of the fishes in water, where they close their operculum, open the mouth, lower the floor of the mouth, and then water rush into it. Then they raise the floor of the mouth, close the mouth, water moves to the gill chamber, exchange of gases takes place, then they open the operculum in order to remove carbon dioxide. That is just the same thing that happened in fishes. It happened in the internal gill stage of the tadpole. Now let's go to another interesting part of the tad and the toad, the adult toad. Wow. This is another interesting part which we need to also put in our best and pay utmost concentration, like we've paid concentration for that of the fishes. Wow. The adult toad, they make use of three organs, and then these organs are the mouth, buccal respiration. We also have the continuous respiration, which is the skin. Then we have the pulmonary respiration, which is the lungs. Okay, the toad is capable of using mouth for respiration. Why are they capable of using mouth for respiration? I think we studied the respiratory surface or the respiratory organs. What do they have? Those are the characteristics of the respiratory surface. The mouth of the toad also have the characteristics, hence respiration can take place. Now let's look at the mechanism through which the buccal respiration operates. Permit me? Okay, for toad to take in air, the mouth is closed, the nostrils are open, and the floor of the mouth is lowered. Look at it. For them to take in air, the mouth is closed. Then the what? Nostrils are open and the floor of the mouth is lowered so as to create low air pressure within the buccal cavity. There will be low air pressure, that is, the pressure within the buccal cavity will be large. So when they lower it, they accumulate the air within the buccal cavity. Then what will now happen next? To draw air from the outside through the nostrils. After this, the nostrils and glottis are closed. When the nostril is closed, the glottis will also be closed. We know the function of the glottis is a tissue that helps to it's just like a flap tissue between the esophagus and the lungs. Now, when the glottis is closed, it means air will not move to the lungs. And then they raise the floor of the what? Mouth to create what pressure? High pressure. When they raise the floor of the mouth and the glottis is closed, it means the capillaries of the mouth will help in exchange of gases, where oxygen will move into the body of the organism, and then carbon dioxide will move out through the capillaries. Now, when the carbon dioxide is out, what will happen to this organism? They now do the reverse reaction. They initially raise the floor of the mouth in order to send oxygen within the buccal cavity in order for diffusion to take place. Now, for carbon dioxide to be removed out of the body, what will they do? Then they now lower the floor of the mouth. When they lower the floor of the mouth, they create what pressure? Low pressure, low air pressure. After creating this low air pressure, they accumulate carbon dioxide. Then the next thing is they open the what? The nostrils, so that carbon dioxide or air containing carbon dioxide will move out of the body to the environment. That is that for the toad, the adult toad using buccal respiration. Wow, it always sound interesting, but I think we should try to understand the mechanism. The mechanism is always important. Okay, let's look at another type of organ they use in respiration, which is the skin, the cutaneous respiration. In what they can use cutaneous respiration in on land and in water for respiration. Now the mechanism. It's a simple mechanism though. Oxygen present in water because it's the skin. As the organism is moving in water, there are blood capillaries within the skin that helps in exchange of gases. Carbon dioxide will move out while oxygen will move into the body of the organism. So that of the cutaneous respiration is a simple type of respiration they use on land and in water. Okay, let's look at another organ which they use for respiration. Don't forget, we are still on toad. We are still on toad. Now, the adult toad uses the lungs, which I told us when you hear the lungs, it means it is a pulmonary respiration. Now let's look at the mechanism. How do they make use of the lungs for respiration? In toad, it is opposite to that of the buccal respiration. Why? Well, it will sound, why? How is it opposite? It means here the mouth is open. Okay, as the toad is about drawing in air, the mouth is closed. Then the nostrils are what? Open, just like that of the buccal respiration. And the floor of the buccal cavity is lowered to create what pressure? Low pressure, which makes air containing oxygen to be drawn in from the outside. You will see the toad. You see them? When they lower the floor, air will be created. And then, why do I say it is opposite to that of buccal respiration? Yeah, the glottis will be open. In buccal respiration, the glottis is not what? Opened. So, they draw in air from the outside through the nostrils. After this, the nostrils are closed and the floor of the mouth is raised in order to create high pressure so that the air containing oxygen will be forced to open the glottis. Air from the glottis move to the lungs and finally into the alveoli, where gaseous exchange takes place. I think when we mention lungs, what part of the lungs does gaseous exchange take place? Is the what? The alveoli, where we have simple diffusion usually take place for exchange of gases, oxygen and what? Carbon dioxide. And now, how is carbon dioxide removed from this organism? What will they do? From the alveoli, where we have gaseous exchange, it will now move through the epiglottis to the buccal cavity, where they do what? Will they raise the floor of the mouth or lower the floor of the mouth? Yes. They will lower the floor of the mouth to create high pressure, which means more of carbon dioxide will be accumulated. After this, the floor of the buccal cavity is raised to create what? High pressure that is going to force what? Carbon dioxide out of the body by opening the nostrils. Wow, an interesting mechanism though. It's always interesting while we're explaining, but I pray we understand it better. Please do not joke with this. We are going to see there are some past questions that also ask questions based on this. Okay, let's look at respiration in mammals. Respiration in mammals. When we mention respiration in mammals, man as an example, what will come to you from the images seen, you already know, it is the lungs. We make use of the lungs, which I call the pulmonary respiration. And that is why you can see a question that can ask you the similarities between respiration in toad and that of man. You know that they have one similarity, and that is the lungs, which is the pulmonary respiration. Okay, let's proceed. Mammals uses our lungs for gaseous exchange. The lungs The lungs is a pair of reddish elastic organ on each side of the act. It means we have the lung here, and then here we have the what? The act. Within what cavity? The thoracic cavity of the body. The thorax is supported by a bony framework. When we say bony framework, I think we know this already. It is a skeleton and consists of the thoracic cavity. It is made up of the breastbone, which is known as the what? The sternum. Don't forget the sternum. This is where the ribs are attached to it, and the backbone. How many ribs are attached to it? The true ribs, the first rib, and the floating ribs. Then, which makes up the 12 pairs of what? Ribs at the side. And a dome-shaped muscular. When we say dome-shaped, what is this muscular organ that helps to form the dome-shaped? It is known as the diaphragm. At the bottom, the diaphragm separates the thorax from the abdomen, the abdominal cavity of the body. The ribs, I've explained this, the ribs are attached to the breastbone, the sternum, and the backbone. Now, on the ribs, we have these muscles known as intercostal muscles. It is because the presence of these muscles that allow us, when the lungs is expanded, the muscle will also move. We're going to study that, inshallah, when we're talking about the mechanism of respiration in mammal. Well, the first one is more or less like the description of the lungs within the thoracic cavity. Okay, the respiratory system of man includes the nostrils, the pharynx, the larynx, the trachea, the bronchi, the bronchioles, and then the alveoli. You see something, I tagged the bronchioles and the alveoli as lungs. Yes, when we say respiratory organ of man is lungs, please don't let us forget that the lungs, there is a passage. That's why we call it the system, respiratory system. It connects with another organ, the nostril, for example. And there's a part of the lungs, which is the pharynx, which the passage of air passes to the larynx, from the larynx to the trachea, from the trachea to the bronchi. From the bronchi, it is the trachea that branches into smaller tube into the bronchi, from the bronchi into smaller once again known as the bronchioles, which is found within that lungs, that part, and that we call the reddish part, which we call the lungs. And then after that, we have the alveoli. From the picture in my right side, you are going to see that inside, after the bronchioles, we have the smaller ones that looks like berry, those small fruits, which we can call the inflorescence, the berry. Look at it. Those are what we call the alveoli. And from the young baby on my left side, that is more or less like the diagram of the lungs. Please don't forget you have to copy these notes in your notes, biology note, and then you are to draw the respiratory system of all the organisms mentioned. It is important. Okay, let's look at the mechanism through which man respire, exchange gases. The nostrils. From the organs or the parts which we mentioned, that is everything we are going to say here, how they work together to perform their function. The nostrils. The nostrils lead into the posterior portion of the mouth cavity, and this lead into a voice box. One with a voice box, which is the what? The larynx. The larynx lead into a windpipe or the trachea. Now, note that a flat piece of tissue called the epiglottis covers the entrance of the larynx, which prevents food particles from entering into the larynx and the trachea. While breathing in, and that's why this precaution is always taken, that these table manners do not talk while eating, so that the epiglottis will not open and allow the food material that's supposed to pass through the esophagus to the what? The trachea. So, Don't forget, do not talk while eating. It has happened before. I was in a hospital when a man was brought to the hospital, and then they said he was eating, and then he started coughing. What happened to him? This is that. I was like, he was eating and started coughing. Maybe he was talking or was arguing with someone, and in the end, the man died eventually, but the doctor convinced them scientifically because people were already saying, "Oh, auntie show na mami water do one." But the doctor convinced them and said, "No, it is because he was eating while he was talking while eating, and then with anger, so it makes the epiglottis to open, and then food rush into the lungs, which cause the ache, which later why that was why they rushed into the hospital. So please kindly observe table manners while eating. Okay, let's proceed. Let's look at the trachea. The trachea branches now. From the trachea, it branches into the what? The bronchi. Both the trachea, we have, two lungs. We have the trachea. Now, this trachea now branches into what? Bronchia. We have both the trachea and the bronchi. The trachea and the bronchi, you will see that they have ring of cartilages on them. What is the function of this ring of cartilages? Is preventing them from collapsing when the pressure of air inside them is low. Each bronchus leads to the lungs. Can you see that statement? Each bronchus leads to the lungs. What do we now have in the lungs? We have the what? The bronchioles and the alveoli. That was why I tagged both of them. They are found in the lungs. Where it branches into small tubes called the bronchioles. The bronchiole leads to numerous air sacs called the alveoli. The alveoli are richly supplied with blood capillaries because they are supplied with capillaries. Hence, blood gets there, and that is why easy diffusion can easily take place at the alveoli, where we have what? Are sites or surfaces where gaseous exchange takes place. Now, carbon dioxide are now removed in the reverse reaction from the alveoli to the bronchioles, from the bronchioles to the bronchi, from the bronchi to the trachea, from the trachea to the larynx, from the larynx to the pharynx, from the pharynx to the nostrils. And that's how gases move out of the body of mammals into the environment. Okay, let's look at another interesting topic under it, which is the process of inhalation in man. Still on respiratory system. This is a practical aspect in respiratory system. Look at it. The thoracic cavity increases in volume. How? Because you'll be like, the process of inhalation, how does the thoracic cavity increases in volume? This is just it. When we say inhalation, or don't forget, these are the examples of external or physical respiration, inhalation or inspiration. Now what happened? Can you see? The thoracic cavity increases in what? In volume. Again, what happened? The diaphragm. This diaphragm usually have a normal shape. At a normal part, when they are normal, their shape is usually a dome shape. D-O-M-E, dome shape. But when they what? They contract. What will happen to them? They assume a flattening what? Shape. Then what will happen to the intercostal muscles that connect the ribs? That was why I was mentioning these during the explanation of the lungs, how they are attached to the thoracic cavity. This is where all those points are useful in the process of inhalation and the process of exhalation. Okay, let's start again. Can you kind of breathe in? What happened to the volume? The volume what? Increases. Okay, what happened to the diaphragm? The diaphragm assumes a flattened what? Shape. And then what happened to the intercostal muscle? The intercostal muscle contracts. Now what happened to the sternum? All these, the parts of the ribs. This is what we are going to mention. What happens to the sternum? The sternum move what? Forward. Look at. It's going to move what? Forward. Then what will happen to the ribs? The ribs will move what? Upward. Look at. Upward. And what? Outward. They are going to expand. That's why we say upward and outward. Then after that, you can see from this process now, it means air will rush in. What type of pressure is created? Is it high pressure or low pressure? From what we've been explaining so far, I guess you should say low pressure. Now, this low pressure will allow air to move in. So, since there is an increase in volume, there will be decrease in what? Pressure, which is the low pressure of the thoracic cavity. Now, which allow oxygen from the surrounding or the environment to be forced into the lungs through the nostrils until it's now passed through the passage from the nostril to the pharynx, from the pharynx to the larynx, from the larynx to the trachea, from the trachea to the bronchi, from the bronchi to the bronchus, from the bronchus to the alveoli. Okay, let's look at the process of exhalation. In the process of exhalation, it's just a reverse case to that of inhalation. Exhalation means breathing out when you are relaxed. Now, what will happen to the volume in the thoracic cavity? The volume of the thoracic cavity what? Decreases. The next thing is the diaphragm. The diaphragm now assumes the normal shape. Look at, which is the dome shape. Now, what will happen to the intercostal muscle? In the other one, in inhalation, the intercostal muscle was contract. Yeah, the intercostal muscle will what? Relax. Then what will happen to our what? Our sternum. The sternum will move what? In the other one, it move what? Upward. But now, the sternum will move what? Inward. The ribs now, what will happen to it? The ribs, because they are relaxed, they will move what? Downward and inward. You know, it will not look like upward and outward. It will be what? Downward and inward. Now, then, what will happen? Look at it. You know, it wasn't like when I do like this. What pressure was created? Low pressure. But when you do like this, what pressure was created? It is in a relaxed way. It will be what? High what? Pressure. So this pressure will now allow what? Carbon dioxide from the body to move out through the alveoli until it gets to the external parts, to the environment through the nostrils. These are the process of inhalation and exhalation in organism. Note, during expiration, the air in the lung is not completely exhaled or removed. Yes, the air is not completely removed. There is still some leftover air. The air left in the lungs is called residual air. While the one which is found in the trachea, while the one which is exchanged with each breath is called the thorax air. The one that is exchanged with each breath. That is, during ventilation, when we try to renew our oxygen, it's called the thorax what? Air. That is that for the oxygen, the residual air, and the thorax air. Let's look at the composition of inhaled and exhaled air. This is an approximate composition of inhaled and exhaled air. For our oxygen, we have 21%, we inhale 21% out of the whole of oxygen in the atmosphere, and then the exhaled air is 16%. The exhaled oxygen, the carbon dioxide, which I use carbohydrates, is carbon dioxide. We have 0.03% is inhaled, while 4.1 is what? Exhaled. Then we also inhale this nitrogen. You know, nitrogen is found in the atmosphere. Though the nitrogen in the atmosphere is not useful for plants, only if they are fixed by leguminous plants. But for us, They help in building up of amino acid, repair of worn out tissue, the importance of proteins. That is what they do. And then water vapor. It is in inhaled air, it is variable, while in exhaled air, it is higher, saturated. And that's why carbon dioxide can easily come out with what? Water vapor. Okay. Having studied respiration in animals, up to from unicellular organism to multicellular organism, it is worth to study respiration in plants. Okay, plants now. Plants do not have sexual respiratory, wow. I use sexual respiratory organs, sorry, they do not have any respiratory organ. Please, it is not sexual respiratory organ. Do not put that one in your notes. They do not have special, it should be special, not sexual, please correct that. They do not have special respiratory organ for gaseous exchange. However, gases move in and out of plant through the stomata and the lenticels. I think we studied the stomata where we have this green bean material, bean-like material that comes together and have a pore. This bean-like material is called the gut cell. Within them, there is a pore that help when there is turgidity, that is, there is too much of water inside the gut cell. What will happen to it's just like something like this. When there is too much of water in the gut cell, it will expand. When it expands, it opens what? The stomata pore to allow easy movement or removal of excess water from the plant. This process is known as transpiration. Okay. And our next one is, I want us to understand the mechanism of respiration. When we say respiration, an exchange of gases in plants during the day when photosynthesis is going on. Oxygen and water vapor diffuses out of the environment, out to the environment through the stomata and lenticels. You can see the lenticels is found in old plants, old trees, the bark of older trees. Okay, we also see that at night, what happens? That is during the day. I think that one is understood. During the day, we already know stomata. And don't forget, when we say during the day, when photosynthesis is taking place, it means it is in the presence of what? Light. Photo. Now, at night, when there is no light, what happens to exchange of gases? Plants now look at like animals at night. Plants obtain oxygen from the atmosphere and give out what? Carbon dioxide. Why? They use this carbon dioxide to make glucose. Now, they now collect oxygen from the atmosphere at night in order to break down glucose so that it can be useful to their body. Are you with me? So that this glucose can break down glucose to release what? ATP, adenosine triphosphate, the energy. And then they release carbon dioxide and water vapor to the atmosphere through the stomata and lenticel by simple what? Diffusion. You see that we've been mentioning diffusion, because with diffusion, material are easily what? Moved. They move in and then what? Move out. And that is all for respiratory system. The differences between respiration and photosynthesis. Wow. We can see that in respiration, it occurs in every living cells. It occurs in plants and what? Animals. While photosynthesis occurs in what? Only plants. Respiration takes place at all times, while photosynthesis takes place in the presence of light. I don't want to use sunlight. I think you already know the reason. Okay, food substances are broken down. In respiration, food substances are broken down to energy, which is called the catabolism. What in photosynthesis, food substances are built up, which we call anabolism. And high energy is used in respiration. Yes, high energy is used, that is oxygen and what? Carbohydrate. But in photosynthesis, low energy is used. Only carbon dioxide and water is used to build up a high energy. Carbon dioxide and water are the byproduct. But in photosynthesis, oxygen is the only byproduct. Respiration releases energy, while photosynthesis make use of energy. Okay, I think that is well understood up to this level. Thank you for listening. We shall meet some other time. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Please try, please again, copy your notes. And then if you have any question, use the comment box. Stay safe.